Alright, I am finally back to try to basically explain what's going on here. It's been basically from the last time I've uploaded till this video, it's been about a month or two. That last video I was doing back in December. Since then I've basically finished putting together this entire transmission. I lost basically all that recording time over there doing all this, so I'm having to work backwards. But the other thing is the major problem with installing this transmission is the fact that this is about the same length, actually shorter than the automatic transmission, slightly shorter than this automatic transmission, but the mounts are basically in the same location for the automatic transmission. So if you have your cross mount, don't cut it up if you're going to put a TKX in a Crown Victoria. Don't cut it up. You can use the same stock one, because I tried to use the holes for my existing cut up one over here, and they are just way too short, because the TR3650 is actually longer than the TKX by roughly 3 inches. But that also gives me the disadvantage of having a drive shaft, the aluminum one, which I have on a P71. This is an 08. The drive shaft is now 3 inches shorter, but you don't want a 3-inch longer drive shaft spacer. I found this out the hard way. Sometimes you gotta learn. Sometimes you gotta do stupid shit to learn, or don't, or just be smart. But anyways, I tried to put a bigger drive shaft spacer that didn't work. I tried using the drive shaft, the steel drive shaft out of a Lincoln Town Car on there. Didn't work. By the way, yes, the rear end on this is a Ford 8.8, but the flange will not match up with a Ford Mustang flange. The Mustang flange and the rear end for the U-joint is actually smaller than a Crown Victoria, so don't even try to go with those. What I actually found that worked, I went on to adtr to get this piece. It's a FabTech drive shaft spacer. That's the part number for the drive shaft spacer, but they also included in the kit longer bolts, because this is your stock bolt and it's not going to obviously make it all the way through, so they included a longer bolt, and then these are the part numbers for it. I will also include these part numbers in the description, as well as I'll see if I can get a link for this on adtr. It was roughly, I think, about 120 to 150 to purchase this kit. I'll have to go back and take a look, but that finally did the ticket to make the drive shaft length where it was. I was driving on it before. It's not really giving me a problem. I doubt it's gonna back out long enough for it to fully pull out of there, but I was always worried about damage to the tail shaft of the transmission when you do hit bumps and stuff like that. So that's why I went the safe route, got the spacer, and I'll be putting it back on there. But while it is in the car, it's pretty much been a good transmission to me. I haven't had any leaks or anything to it. I did measure up everything, put in the new clutch and everything. You cannot, the original bolts, if you were going to use like the dust cover, if you're thinking you could use the dust cover from the TR3650, you can't, because that's only like a single flange, and then the bolt for that's a lot bigger than the one for the TKX. If anything, also, for some stupid reason, it's a thing for Fords, and it's probably, you're going to deal with it too if you're going to TKX swap anything modular, any of the Ford modular family engines. You're going to need a bell housing, because the TKX doesn't come with it. None of the websites seem to want to sell a modern day modular bell housing. They will sell you the one for the small block Ford, the little 5.0. Not the modern day 5.0 like the pushrod 5.0, but none of the modular motors you can't find a bell housing for. I actually had to go on to eBay and pay some stupid, ridiculously high price for these things, especially when you think about the only difference between this and the Chevy is slight differences in bolt pattern, and then it's a flat top versus the Chevy, where it's mostly a point, at least for the ones I've messed with. But for some reason, the fucking Fords are more expensive, so you got to get that piece. But luckily, it does come with the, if it comes with it, the dust cover, which this one worked. It bolted up. Thank the Lords. Also, another thing, the TKX transmission will not come with bolts to bolt it in. I was able to reuse the bolts to put in the bell housing, And these are just some screws that I found to make this work. But the bolts for the TKX, I had to actually go and find, I just went to Aces and found me some bolts. I got me some heavy duty bolts and then bolted it in. There's just four of them, and it's actually, once you get the bell housing in, it's a lot nicer to pull out that transmission. Especially now that I have this bell housing, it's both ambidextrous for the TKX transmissions as well as the T5s. So if I'm ever gonna swap out this transmission, I'm probably gonna put in maybe a T5 with straight cut gears, because I like them on. But wiring is more or less the same. I kind of have a lot of stuff tucked up in there throughout, and then same thing on this side. I don't know if I iterated on the older video, but I reused for the Crown Vic swaps. You have to use the range sensor, and you have to make sure that's in neutral. But if you ever want to actually use the cruise control, you have to actually put that into drive. You have to figure out a way to wire it in into drive. There is a channel where the dude figured it out. I'll see if I can throw that into the description as well, if I remember. So you can put on your cruise control. The problem with that is, instead of with neutral, you can tune it to drive, but if you put it into drive, the computer every once in a while will probably get an error from the torque shaft code or something like that, and it'll kill the motor completely in the middle of the highway. So it's not something you want to keep on. If anything, you want to keep this on to neutral, which back in the day I was noticing that happening as well. Ever since I've done this swap, I've driven it for about a month off and on. I've already done the break-in, and I've been hammering on it a little bit here and there. It feels pretty nice, but I haven't seen any codes for that. But yeah. All right, with the drive shaft spacer installed, that's what the engagement looks like, and that's a lot better. Makes me feel a lot better, especially acceleration under hard output. It's not gonna slide out too much and start wobbling too much and damaging that output shaft, or hitting jumps or anything like that. Not that I intend to, but stuff happens, and this car does fly from time to time. But that's about it as far as installing a drive shaft spacers. Just unbolt, put the new one in, put the bolts on top. Which the bolts themselves, if you get the ADTR kit, are 18 mil. Just put some, when you do install those bolts, I've been doing this every time I've ever manual swapped or done a tranny swap on any of the cars I've ever owned. Throw some blue Loctite on there, just in case, because that thing, the drive shaft doesn't spin in a perfect circle. It's spinning in an oval, so it does have ever so slight vibrations to it, so could always wobble out any of these bolts. Just as far as torque spec goes, I just cram it on as fucking tight as I can. Never had a bolt back out onto me. So yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. Other than I'm going to lower it down on the ground and just show the engagement pretty much from with it sitting on the floor. Do keep in mind that this car has been lowered a little bit, I think about an inch or two in front and rear. So that does affect it as well. So with the stock bolt in there and the stock length of the drive shaft, you can see how much that drive shaft actually protrudes out. As you can see, I've been driving on it a little bit, so that's why it's been rusting up. But with the spacer, it actually moves it back to where it should be and give it a nice, good engagement right there. But with the spacer, it should move it up a lot nicer.